I'm in a salvage yard in South Carolina, Spartanburg to be exact, at Diesel Truck Parts Salvage Yard, which was a family-owned business for over 45 years. And behind me you're going to see some ghosts of the road that are going to meet their untimely demise after decades of resting in the spot that they are in because nobody bought them. Over the years, scrap prices have gone up, and then that brought vandals into the yard. And so the vandals came here and started cutting cores out of radiators and stripping off all the parts that they could get, and the owners just couldn't take the loss any longer, so they were forced to sell the land. Well, they have over 300 vintage big rigs on this property that they have been painstakingly, I guess, being the caretakers of for 40 years. The father passed away in 2003, and the son, Louis, has been running the yard. So unfortunately, time has caught up to all of these machines and the family, and they were forced to sell the land. So they sold the property, and with the property goes all of the American big rigs that are behind me and all around me. I'm going to try to show you a little bit more later on. And that means that they are going to meet an untimely demise, and a chapter of the United States American transportation is going to come to a close, and it's going to be an ugly close because they've been pulling these trucks out of here since Monday, taking big machinery, ripping cabs off, crushing them up, stacking up chassis, and it is absolutely painful. What's even more painful is that I learned not but 15 minutes ago is that the guy who's in charge of the scrapping, not the owner that sold the land, but the scrap company, told us that they're averaging $90 a cab to destroy them. Now, that is an absolute sin, and it is painful to me because these are the trucks that were on the road when I was a little kid, and I was enamored with truck drivers and the whole industry that delivered America for decades. And so when the trucks stopped running for whatever reason, their business here was to part them out or keep the other trucks on the road going, and hopefully maybe somebody would buy one of the trucks and restore it because they're historical, they're all antiques. Well, none of that is going to happen any longer because they're being crushed up, and in the next, I would say, I think month or two, there's not going to be anything left. So an entire chapter of the United States transportation is coming to an abrupt close, and it's gross and disgusting, and it absolutely rocks me to my core, and it's something that I had to come here to take a look around for myself and see if maybe we can salvage it. I'm going to meet up with a good friend of mine, Gene Kennedy from Bandit Movie Cars, who heard that there's maybe a Peterbilt that was in the convoy scene from Smoking the Bandit here in the backwoods. Brad told me about that. So we're going to go hunt around and see what we can find and maybe buy or save or salvage one of these trucks, if not even an emblem, because even just an emblem is a souvenir of something that once served America proudly, and a guy or lady made their living in hauling groceries or steel or lumber. It doesn't matter. It's all around us, and it's a painful thing to watch, but that's what the hell I'm doing here.
My friend Rob Mariani and I are out here in South Carolina looking at a graveyard of trucks. I mean, these trucks are awesome, and they're scheduled for demolition. So we're here, we're going to try to save some of these, and we also got a tip that maybe one of the Smoking the Bandit 352s that we've seen behind Burt Reynolds might be lurking out here in these trucks. So, you know, this is almost 15 acres, 300 trucks.
By 1958, this meant officially changing our name from the Steel Products Company to Great Dane Trailers, a name that reflects our past and our future. To signify the change, a red background was added to our iconic Great Dane logo.
This is Louis Cantrell, and he worked at his dad's salvage yard since he was a little kid, and he started to take us through the woods and began telling us anecdotes about virtually every truck that was there. And it was as fascinating as it was depressing, knowing that all these trucks are going to meet their untimely demise at the hands of a unscrupulous scrapper.
To the Ford International.
So you cut the fence up there? God, look at that. They just slice it right down and slide it back like a shower curtain.
How long have they been rape, robbing, and pillaging you guys?
Since 2000.
As we worked our way deeper into the death row woods, Louis began attaching stories to each of the trucks, and it really was like their last rites.
Daddy bought it and we tried to sell it as a running truck, and because it had a 903 Cummins in it, wouldn't nobody buy it, so he eventually just junked it.
You know anything about Brown?
The biggest thing I can remember, they were a huge trucking company and they were self-insured. One of their drivers had a bad wreck, and it was bad enough that to pay off the insurance from them being self-insured, they had to fold up.
That is called running trucking on the ragged edge right there. One wreck, underinsured, goodbye to the business.
Yeah, they had just went self-insured. That's why it was.
Well, the good news is that Brad is going to restore that truck to a brown truck like it looks. Yep.
That's old school road art.
Brockway, brother, this is so kick-ass. Yeah, me too. What are the odds of us getting, is the other door in good shape? Oh, it's gone.
I don't see a door. That was missing.
Now we're going deeper into my nightmare. I mean, deeper into the woods.
So, but I got the passenger door. I had it recreated.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
That's good.
That is cool. I got two. I got two Kenworth doors. We painted them black and gold, and I had Burt Reynolds sign them. They were snowman.
Yeah, remember.
That's right. Right over here. Look, they've made a makeshift A-frame kind of lift point, and it's probably been 5 years ago now. I caught people in here stealing. They had went on the other side of the property and then went down the road, went down and cut a path through the trees at this Hindu temple next door, all the way to the fence, and cut a hole in the fence big enough to drive a small pickup in. And they were hauling stuff out in a small pickup. Oh no, they didn't do it the hard way. They went down to Northern Tool and bought them a 12-volt electric hoist.
Yeah.
And had it hooked up and was working it off a battery. They even brought a Craftsman lawn tractor to pull the stuff over here with. And
I caught him in here red-handed with the truck backed up right there with that engine on the back of the truck. Spartanburg County called the rollback, had their truck hauled to their house, and took them downtown and turned them loose.
Why'd they turn them loose?
Said that they were on the property, but don't think they could catch them for trespassing.
Sounds like that truck would have become your property.
Well, that's what I thought too, but they
Yeah.
said no, that it was their vehicle, so that they had to send it to their house. And when the record driver got here, the man was sitting there, and he asked him, says, "Oh, did you get caught again? Do you want me to put it around behind the house where I did last week?" He said, "Yeah, just put it around behind the house. I'll be home after a while." So that's the reason it's just got to be too much. The truck belonged to Hugh Simmons, Simmons septic tank, and he had a little bitty hot dog and a German Shepherd dog, and those dogs went everywhere with him. He was all about his dogs, and he had them up in the truck. They were pumping a tank, and it was up on a hill where they were at, up there at Inman, South Carolina, and the dogs were wrestling around in the cab of the truck and knocked the truck in gear, and it took off. Went down the hill, crossed the road, and then went down an embankment about 100 and something feet and hit a tree head on the passenger side, pushed the front bumper all the way to the firewall on the passenger side. And they said he went running down the hill and dove off that 100-foot embankment to check on his dogs. And they said, "What about the truck?" And he says, and used some explicit words, "I don't care about the truck. I want to make sure my dogs are all right." And he went the next day and bought a brand new truck.
Well, you gotta tell us what happened to the dogs.
Oh, the dogs were fine. They didn't get hurt. They come crawling out as soon as he opened the door.
And when he jumped over the 100-foot hill,
He got some briars and stuff like that. He was all right, but
Let's go see it.
Simmons septic tank.
And this is the dog truck?
Yes, sir.
Is this the result of what happened?
Yes, sir. See, it went right here. You can see where it folded it around. Pushed it all the way back to there. It took 2 wreckers to bring it back up that 100-foot embankment.
wow. I seen a green truck in Knoxville and it said Mountain Dew. Okay, Mountain Dew can.
Right.
No dog leashes.
This truck and the sister to this truck is painted gold and blue. And the man, my grandparents had a old country store, and my uncle run it after they died, and he put in poker machines when poker machines were still legal here in South Carolina. And the man had this truck and the other truck and 2 trailers, and he put both of them in that poker machine.
Wow.
Are you saying that this Peterbilt used to run poker machine parts or poker machines?
No, sir.
Oh, just asking.
He gambled so bad on the poker machine that he sold the trucks and put the money in the poker machine and ended up with nothing.
And now look at where the truck is.
Yes, sir.
It met its fate. So this is the product of gambling. It doesn't pay at any level, Gene.
Yeah, see, that house always wins.
Yeah. Say that again.
I said the house always wins.
This is so coming home with me. This Peterbilt emblem. Because I love the story about the Peterbilt. Oh, and it had a winter front on it. Yeah.
See, that's what the thieves have done. See how they took the sawzall and cut the radiator out of it?
Say that again.
This is part of the reason we're having to get rid of everything, because we can't keep the thieves out of it. They've come in and they take a sawzall and cut the radiator cores out of them.
Just for the copper?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Just to sell it for scrap.
So they gutted it like an animal.
Yes, sir.
Disgusting.
Yeah, the glass is almost good. This one's broke, but that one's still good. Amazing. 30 years outwards. Now, I bet you when they were parked, some of the trees and stuff probably weren't here as much, right?
Oh, there was nothing in here.
Nothing? It was just open.
The only trees were right around the fence. The Spartanburg County made us put those up. But no, there wasn't any trees in here at all.
Old Craco stereo still in it.
And Gene, once upon a time when that guy was, before he was gambling away his life,
He was jamming going down the road.
he was jamming to Craco and he was pimped out in this Peterbilt.
With the last stickers, 1986. Yeah. Gambler trucking.
Don't pay.
As sad as it was, knowing that all of these unbelievably cool big rigs were going to be scrapped, which is painful, it was certainly fun to walk all 15 acres and get all the backstory on many of these trucks. And then there's the trucks themselves. Fords, Kenworths, Peterbilts, Whites, White Road Commanders, White Road Bosses. Just every kind of truck you could imagine, and in various stages of decomposition. And he had the thieves, of course, plundering him for years, and then here we were, sort of like modern day pirates, but there was no booty for us because we couldn't buy any of the trucks because the unscrupulous scrapper, well, more on that in just a little while, but we were only able to get a couple of emblems, maybe a door or two here and there, but as the day wore on, it just got better and better, or sadder and sadder. Attending this wake in the woods was just so sad at every level, knowing that these things are not going to exist in a matter of a day or two. Lewis's young son was definitely a highlight. I remember being his age and being around big rigs. Although I wasn't in a salvage yard, it was still cool. And you can see by the smile on his face, he's having a blast.
What do you like about it?
I think this one we can buff it out. Buff it out. You can buff that out. No, it's a ramp truck. It'd be cool. We could put our logo right on the deck. And if we go to a show or bring one of the cars, we can stick it right on top. I mean, it's unbelievable what's out here. It's overwhelming how many trucks.
You hadn't even seen 10% of them.
It's 56 miles.
What do you get for that?
More than Brad wanted to give you.
Well, this is great though that Brad's going to save this.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Brad bought
That
it.
is good. So the other one's similar but new.
It's similar, it's just a later model, yes, sir.
Is it a coincidence that the Chevy Spartan was spared from the Spartanburg slaughter? I believe the Chevy Spartan was the long hood, and then the sister truck on the GM line was the 550, like this one that Evel Knievel ran when he first had the Hollywood Daredevils. Pretty cool trucks no matter what. I like them. GM's heavy truck market would definitely evolve. They had offerings of Chevrolet, which were the Titan, the Bruin, and then the GMC Astro or the Brigadier, and then ultimately the GMC General and the Chevy Bison. Eventually I ran into Daniel, who was busy taking the door off of a 352 Pete.
Watch your sockets.
It's like Edward and Amy Hurley? Leaves a comment if you know these people.
Hang on, Daniel.
It says St. Pete on it. Would you rather have one with the wind in it? Because it's got a good wind. Yeah, you can tell it's some better.
That's what I said earlier today. This is the better door.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got the sight glass. No, this is the door.
Socket.
You want this door. This is the door.
This is the better one. You got your side glass in too, and it ain't busted or nothing. So I found that arm. You want to see it over there, and I'll give it to you if you need it, Lewis. I found it in the floorboard over there.
You're doing good there. Keep up the good work.
Look at the headliner in this baby.
Really?
Goodness gracious. Got a nice headliner.
What you're seeing is a piece of the past, which was once considered state of the art. The best state of the art engineers and designers and then manufacturers built America's big rigs, which supplied us with the exact same thing that we have right now. Food, fuel, clothing, whatever it may be. The American transportation industry is the backbone of the nation. And when I see antiques that have made it this far, 40, 50, some of them 60, 70 years of age, and for an unscrupulous moron to come through for a few dollars and not allow at least an auction for people that are collectors to maybe buy these unbelievable pieces of the past that survived. Oh, no, no, no. Instead, we were faced with a ruthless moron, some younger guy that has no reverence for history, let alone the American transportation industry. And that's the calling here and why I was there. And what's even more bothersome is that the guy was an idiot and that those who care were denied a chance to preserve a piece of the past. That's the bottom line here. And boy, does it piss me off.
Tell me that again, what you did when you were a kid here at 7.
The 2-speed motors that mount on there, they're electric, 12 volt. They shift the 2-speed in the rear end. I would go around the yard and collect them and rebuild them, and he sold them exchange to people that used them.
And you'd fix them as a kid?
Yes, sir, when I was 7 years old.
How many of those do you think you fixed in your life?
They ain't no telling.
And now, how does it feel to be standing here, I don't know, 40 years later, and you're looking at the last of its kind, the 2-speed motors and memories?
Well, they updated from that to the electronic version back in the 90s, and people still, a few of the farmers around still run them, but most people don't run those. They run 6, 7, 8-speed transmissions now, instead of 2-speed rear ends.
You could probably rebuild that thing right now, if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
How long would it take you to rebuild one? An hour?
Maybe.
Were you paid by the motor?
No, I got room and board, man. I didn't get no paycheck. There wasn't no pay.
Got to go swimming on the weekends or
That's
something
right.
like that?
Yes, sir. But no, I worked all the way through school, high school, college. When I got out of school, I was at the shop. Wow. We rode at night on the weekends, looked at trucks, bought trucks. This is all I've ever done.
How does it feel now that you got to walk through here? It's a little bit.
It's hard. That's what I told Mike Monday when we walked through here, and I picked out pieces I wanted to keep. And then it was harder Thursday when I walked through with Brad, and I told him, I said, that's the reason I sold it like it was. I didn't want to have to do this. I wanted to just walk away.
During the second day of the truck slaughter, we were avoiding torrential rains, and Lewis took us over to his shop that was just adjacent to the yard. And that's where a guy named Chris from Industrial Metal Recycling showed up and began to monologue about himself and his degree in economics and business and his general disdain for any of the trucks. He would only entertain selling us cabs, which were dirty metal, and he got all of the chassis. So we went to work negotiating some of the cabs to save the cabs. He told us he was only getting $90 per cab, so Gene made him a generous offer of $500 per cab, and he turned it down. That's correct. Mr. Degree in Economics and Business turned down a $500 offer for a cab, and he was actually getting $90. His ludicrous counteroffer was $13,500 for 3 cabs. We certainly tried to preserve some of these classics, but to no avail. I guess the moral of the story here is all we get are memories, and maybe we should preserve history. Wouldn't that be a great idea?